Hi, it's Barry here. So I just want to talk about our property coaching service, what we do, how we do it, who we work with, and why we work with them. If you are interested or currently involved in property, hopefully what we are doing will have resonance and value to you. And I think it's just a case of getting the requisite knowledge, as with any subject, and then applying that knowledge and working. So our sort of consultative business is going really well. This is aimed at people who are, if not already started, very committed to starting. If you're completely new to property or don't intend beginning your journey immediately, there won't be much value in this for you. So this is really if you are on the cusp, serious about doing something, want to either turn full-time in property or are on the sort of cusp of wanting to augment your current job or current income with property. And I think property works for a lot of people because, unlike other businesses, you don't need to give up your full-time gig for this to work spectacularly well. What you do need is the knowledge and the skill set. And just like driving a car, that's learnable. We were all pretty moronic when we started driving our cars. You had to pay attention to the road, and then you had the gears, and then you still had to pay attention to the road and the stuff that was going on around you, and check your mirrors. And the complexity of that seemed overwhelming. I think with property, because there are a lot of moving parts and because there are strict legal structures in place, people get a bit overwhelmed by it, but it is relatively simple and straightforward. And hopefully this sort of 5-minute video will give you a little bit of background and sort of confidence to move forward. So, can you turn full-time in property in the next 6 months, and can you this year turn that into a 6-figure income? It's a big question, and I'm here to refute all the kind of bullshit and stuff that goes around much of this. So I am not in any way against formalised property training. I think there's a lot of providers out there right now who are focused on big in-the-room events. Hundreds of people come along, and the training company then provide them with background knowledge, all valuable stuff. But one size doesn't fit all. I think in a room of 100 people, different people are going to move at different speeds. They're going to have different aspirations, desires, wants for them, their family, their income in the future, which is why as a business we right now will only be working with private coaching clients, limited spots, limited people. I've only got so much personal bandwidth that I can dedicate to this. So hopefully that works for you, and if you want to go into a sort of big room with hundreds of people and learn what property is all about, then feel free to do so. But today I just want to touch on some of the rudimentaries of what our coaching clients learn and understand, and what knowledge they get from us. So first and fundamentally, you need to just decide on your strategy. Now that could be a multiple of strategies, but you'll understand this buy-to-let model. Buy-to-let, quite simply, is you're purchasing a property, you're going to hold that for the long term, you're going to create wealth through a portfolio for you and your family. So there's been a lot of regulatory and compliance changes within buy-to-let. It isn't what it once was, even a few years ago, but you can still readily get funding, and we'll know how this works. And then there's different kind of flavours of buy-to-let. It might just be a sort of single buy-to-let, so that's a house or a flat that you buy, and you maybe do a little bit of work to, and then you let it out to a family or an individual. You make your rental income. If you bought it cash, then it's all dollars. If you haven't, then clearly you're going to pay your funding source, your mortgage off, or interest only, but you're going to pay your mortgage as you receive income. Clearly the income has to be greater than the outgoing, so it doesn't have to be, but that's pretty much the fundamental way you're going to make money. So that's single buy-to-let. You may be looking at HMO, which house of multiple occupation. Bit trickier up here in Scotland where I am, but very popular in other parts of the UK. And HMO, houses of multiple occupation, have changed dramatically. So I sound like one of those old, when I were a lad, but when I was younger, I had the joys of living in an HMO, and it was really just bed sets, cram as many people into a house, maximise the rent from those individuals, and do as little work as possible. They weren't great places to stay. HMO now is quite popular with younger professionals, people who don't want to spend buckets of money on rent. Maybe they're saving up for a deposit for their own place. So they quite happily pay a premium for a nice ensuite room, well done, to high standards, secure, with blistering fast broadband. HMO works for a lot of people. More recently we've seen SA. SA is serviced accommodation, holiday lets, as you might know and love it. So Airbnb, Booking.com, you stick the house on there. So rather than looking for a long-term tenant, you can make a lot more income under serviced accommodation. The downside to that is you've got to pay them more attention. You have to change beds and provide services to your short stay individual. But all of those effectively represent in some way buy to let. You've purchased a property, be it a house or a flat, and you're letting it out either to a single individual or to a group of individuals or as a short-term let. So buy to flip. Buy to flip. Now there's two ways you can do this. I generally just do trades. A lot of people prefer to sort of do the kind of refurb. So buy to flip, two routes you can go with this. One is that you're simply trading property. You'll never read that. One is you're going to do a refurb. The way the market is right now, a bit frothy. Refurbs are, I guess, how to maximise your end value. But what you can do is, if you're finding property at the right level, you can buy it for X, do no work to it, and simply sell it for a greater amount than you purchased it for. So they're getting a little bit trickier to find because the market's quite buoyant. There's a lot of people out there looking for property deals, but still very doable. Still possible to buy a property in auction and then sell it back out through the auction for more money. There's still guys out there doing that. Or if you get a direct to vendor lead, you can just sell it on the open market. Maybe you can act quickly and that suits someone, and then you can take your time, sell it out on the open market. If you want to maximise your value, you can purchase the property, and then we've all watched Homes Under Hammer, that type of stuff. Somebody then goes and does a full refurbishment on the property, does it to high standard, and sells it out on the open market through an agent. So probably trade, you might be selling that out to another investor, so you bought it quite cheap and you know someone, or you find someone who's going to use it as a buy to let or keep it long term. So trade properties quite often can go out to investors. When you do that amount of work, usually it's going out to the person that's going to own the property, so that's going out to the person who will make that their family home. Now, those are the two sort of primary strategies that we all understand, but then there's several subsets and stuff within all of those, but they're all predicated on this, and this is the big one that people worry about, is funding. So we all get quite excited about property, or we want to invest or somehow be involved in property, but we are concerned by our or the lack, or the supposed lack, of money or cash or availability thereof. So that's a big part of what we focus on with our clients, is showing them how to do no money down deals, so how to trade deals without putting any of their own money in it. And then we look at other funding sources. So okay, you can go to the bank and get a buy to let mortgage or borrow money against a property, it's a secure asset. But then you've got short-term funding, so you've got bridging. Increasingly we see crowdfunding. There's one now that looks like they're a mixture of both. There's a crowdfunding bridger. You've got JV partners, private investors. We've done a bit of that here. So there's unlimited money in the system right now. You just need to know how to go and get it, and how to go and get it in a compliant and regulatory way, which is another area that we are very strong on, and we cover with you. It's how to be compliant, how to stick to the regulations. It's all good and well, but you do need to stick to the rules. And then there's other parts to this where your team, who you can use, your trades team, who you can use as your professionals. There's surveyors, solicitors, all of these guys are involved in it. And then out with the kind of this whole sphere, when people look at property, quite often they only consider residential property, whereas commercial property is offering fantastic value right now. It's quite easy to find underpriced commercial property and to change the use of that. So that's something that I'm personally doing right now with great success. And then we're also picking up bits of land as well. And that, this stuff all sounds quite grandiose sometimes, but it doesn't have to be. 250 acres of prime land, and Barratt are going to come and buy it off you for several £1 million. Single plots, single commercial units that can be changed, old commercial premises, larger stuff that can have a change of use and be turned into flats. You may or may not have the appetite to do that stuff. If you don't, you can sell it on to someone who does. If you do, then it's a lucrative thing. So there's lots of moving parts to it for sure. We're working closely with people on a limited basis now, showing them what we do and how they can do it as well. If it's of interest, drop us an email right now today, and let's just have a telephone call. Generally, I like to get on the phone for about 20 minutes, just find out where you are in terms of your approach to this, where you are financially, and what your aspiration is. And then if there's a fit, let's get something started, and if there's not, hopefully we can impart some value and some knowledge, and you'll be friends in that way. So drop us an email, and I look forward to hearing from you. Bye bye for now.